In 1974, a 19-year-old from Pittsburgh came out with one of the most lavish sounds on the RCA roster. I am talking about David Werner, and from his 1974 debut album Whizz Kid, the track The Lady in Waiting.
See me run, run, I'm chasing my words through the floor.
We're basically going through some like polychordal, root note descents in F and D minor.
See me run, run, I'm turning my back to the door.
Bit of a classical interlude right there.
See me run, run to lose you. Can't afford to abuse you, no, not at all.
Oh, appreciate how his voice like rises up and adds so much harmonic nuance to the underlying structure here.
It's so cold and it's raining, I'm wondering what to say. It's hard to be kind.
Yeah, descending now from C and then D. Yeah, emphasizing that we're kind of rising, building up to something.
The lady in waiting has made me so aware. I'm running out of time.
Harmonizing with himself, I can tell, double tracked, yeah, to the same voice coming in different directions.
See me run, run, I'm chasing my words through the floor.
Oh, appreciate how the arrangement is swelled up now. We've got like soft piano adding to the descending quality. We've got some...
See me run, run, I'm turning my back to the door.
We've got some sliding guitar sustain on the electric. We've got some sustain harmony vocal, like kind of adding sort of a lushness, you know.
See me run, run to lose you. Can't afford to abuse you, no, not at all.
Let's catch up with the lyrics to this song. Oh, and for the record, some of the backing players we have, bassist Gary Link, and David Werner is handling guitar, acoustic guitar, keyboards, vocals, and Mark Doyle on piano.
It's so hard giving answers when all you ever know is to question why.
It seems like he's pretending to be two vocalists, almost like during this section, the main, he does one line, and then his backup does like the second.
The lady in waiting is waiting on you and me to reply.
Okay, let's catch up with the lyrics. See me run, run, I'm chasing my words through the floor. See me run, run, I'm turning my back to the door. See me run, run to lose you. Can't afford to abuse you, no, not at all. It seems to be about an inability to communicate so far. It's so cold and it's raining, I'm wondering what to say. It's hard to be kind, the lady is waiting, has made me so aware, I'm running out of time. So if he doesn't act now, he's going to lose the opportunity. If he doesn't hedge his bets properly or make the right kind of move or play his cards properly,
She says her love will last 1,000 years, but will it stand the strain of all my fears? How can she know?
very swelling, lavish chorus right there. The kind that takes like a long time to arrive. I mean, it didn't come till after like the 2 minute mark, and we're already like more than halfway through the song. Like one of those epic build-ups that I love. Yeah, I actually underread. I read through the first verse and bridge. We have a second verse and bridge to get through before I even get to that part. See me run, run. I'm chasing. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. The first stanza gets repeated after the first verse gets repeated after the first bridge, lyrically, just with that more swelling arrangement. The second bridge, though, has different lyrics. Let's see. It's so hard giving answers when all you've ever known is to question why. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting line. Like, I find that kind of annoying when I ask a question and people just kind of answer me with a question. Yeah, they instead of answering, they say why. Um, the lady in waiting is waiting all alone and needs a reply. Um, she says her love will. Okay, chorus. She says her love will last 1,000 years, but will it stand the strain of all my fears? How can she know? Yeah, that really resonates. I mean, like when people say that their love will last, and then they say that kind of in the heat of the moment, or they say that in the pleasure of thought, without when, and yet it's premature because the relationship hasn't really been through any of the hard knocks of like two people with different minds, and when that's a very overreaching thing to say, and an overconfident thing to say to someone that you haven't had a lot of experiences with. Yeah. Now we've got a very light but detailed arrangement of like piano and electric guitar, just kind of accenting the melody. Soft bass and acoustic plucking. Just subtle drumming, emphasizing, well, just kind of tapping the metal. Yeah, down, down, like just that same descent, C, D, and then D, no, like. And so she patiently. Oh, rising up to a sharp for the chorus, yeah. E flat, yeah, right. Awaits a sign. But if I don't comply, will I be lost in this swamping mind? A great compositional device to move up to a chord that we hadn't heard throughout the prior song, despite the length of the track and the lengths of the development of the verses and pre-choruses. When we finally arrive at the chorus, we get this higher key center that we hadn't heard elsewhere. See me run, run, I'm chasing my words through the floor. Now we've returned to the beginning, and kind of creating sort of a sense of desolation for the narrator. I mean, obviously he lacks the confidence. He just doesn't really feel like he's good enough for this woman, apparently. And he doesn't really know the right things to say because he's not very experienced. I imagine it's just, this could be autobiographical for him. I mean, he's probably 18 when he wrote these lyrics. See me run, run, I'm turning my back to the door. With a title like Lady in Waiting, I'm wondering if this is about like a really young man's romance with a slightly older woman. See me run, run to lose you.
how to abuse you now, not at all.
Oh, just appreciate that tapestry. Yeah, quite a skillful acoustic player for his age. David Werner with The Lady in Waiting from his 1974 RCA release, Whizz Kid. Let's hear another song from the album. The following track on side A, The Ballad of Trixie Silver. Okay, a rise from like D, F, G, and G. Emphasizing, of course, like thirds and fifths and stuff. Hear that piano, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah, putting like a three, some threes into the four. That is such a I love that effect, like 4/4, but with like one instrument, playing in another meter. And that appreciate that guitar, that light, just clean guitar that's putting accents in and just. And then the acoustic guitar, really sublime. It's plucking and everything. Really, quite a filigree between just a few instruments.
Rocking horse, well, and she rocks, of course, yeah. She's a killer on the scene.
I'm thinking that this might concern like a Western lady, kind of. I'm getting already from the title. I'm getting kind of like an Anne Oakley vibe.
Well, she gets paid in cash for selling boutique trash, yeah. She's a killer on the scene.
Or maybe like a female star of like the saloon scene and the Saddleback.
She says, hey, you look a lot like a cowboy boy. She says, hey, you sound a lot like a cowboy.
Already, once again, I'm getting kind of like a younger man, older woman type vibe from the setup here.
She says, hey, there'll never be a time like now, boy, to take you for a ride.
Yeah, he's definitely singing from these songs are sung from the point of view of a very young man, just barely, just on the cusp of adulthood, and his interactions with older women, like here, like in the town that he's arrived in. I love this post chorus, like instrumental refrain. Let's catch up with the lyrics here. She rides a rocking horse. Well, and she rocks, of course, yeah. She's a killer on the scene. She gets paid in cash for selling boutique trash, yeah. She's a killer on the scene. Wow, that last line becomes quite operative here. It's like the immortal. It's like the tagline of the character, Trixie Silver. She says, "Hey, you look a lot like a cowboy boy." She says, "Hey, you sound a lot like a cowboy." I like how like on the first utterance of the word "boy" is kind of emphasized, kind of indicating him, like his disposition to it all and everything. Says, "Hey, there will never be a time like now, boy, to take me for a ride." Huh. There will never be a time like now, boy, to take me for a ride. I'm wondering if he's about to lose his virginity to this woman. Huh. Yeah, and that was her way of the cowboy line was her way of propositioning him. Yeah, proposition, a timid young virgin, just spring chicken. And yeah, there will never be, because this is his opportunity to be, you know, turned into a man by a woman who has, let's just say, turned boys into men.
Now in her best disguise, she looked into his eyes and she breathed and found the dew.
Okay, I love the change of arrangement here, or the alteration of the arrangement here. Now the bass line is taking these like tight, like tentative steps, like bum 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 bum, like that.
The text was no one's fool.
Yeah, it's giving it more of a thump quality. Bum 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 bum. Kind of slightly, adding just a slight touch of music hall into this sort of country-esque, or kind of rustic grit we got going here. Soft, kind of rustic.
Cause to the western rule now, right man, I love you.
And then the guitar also is kind of like mirroring that cadence.
Oh, go get it, Tex.
Yeah, I can tell that David Werner really loves these descending motifs in his arrangement. Starting in like a key and then just lowering the root note. Yeah, in this like in these like diatonic or sometimes chromatic sequences. And then rising the main, the starting one with each like maybe figure of eight or whatever. And bear in mind that was like the same three basic root chords that we were hearing at the beginning, just in a different arrangement, different cadence, and all different.
Now life is give and take. Trixie's big mistake was.
Oh, appreciate just how certain instruments just come in at certain moments, like that piano comes in, like in the middle of his lines, and the guitar over here, just the acoustic, just saying a little bit of filigree.
Taking text for someone's food.
Oh, those light, simple but decisive licks of the electric.
So now she scrubs his room in rouge and step perfume now. Cause you see that's western rule.
For a young man, he's got such a refined elegance to his voice.
She sings, hey, you look a lot like a cowboy. Oh boy.
And it's so soft too, and so refined, so like just almost. Let's just say he's for his age, he's got like a certain kind of tenderness to him.
She says, hey, you sound a lot like a cowboy. She says, hey, there'll never be a time like now, boy, to take me for a ride. Woo!
Yeah, he really comes off as like the innocent, kind of lustful young man, like awestruck, young man.
Okay.
And I think now he's about to take the offer. Now, in her best disguise, she looked into his eyes and she breathed her fond adieu. But Tex was no one's fool, 'cause due to Western rule now, her ride meant I love you. Go get it, Tex. A part of me is wondering if these lyrics are inspired by Western folklore or some other kind of character of the old West that maybe I'm not familiar with, because I have to say I'm not like necessarily an expert like on Old West tales or movies in the genre. Now life is give and take, but Trixie's big mistake was taking Tex for someone's fool. It almost sounds like he's singing this kind of more in the narrative third person now. So now she scrubs his room in rouge and stale perfume now. Because you see, that's Western rule. Huh. It seems like she's kind of off her high horse now. No pun intended. Um, Say sings hey, you look a lot like a cowboy. Boy. I don't know if the transcription say says hey is correct, but say says hey, you sound a lot like a cowboy. Say says hey, there will never be a time like now, boy, to take me for a ride. The last line in the song is, but she lost all. I see. They don't get all the lyrics. There's some question marks. Yeah, but I just got to appreciate that Genius.com has transcriptions for this album. I was not expecting that. Yeah. The album, it says, they say here, produced by Bruce Sommerfeld and David Werner. Wow, he even co-produced. Yeah, David Werner, I could tell, had quite a heavy hand in his own album, given quite a lot of artistic reign for um, someone his age. Just amazing.
Oh, come on.
I love how now the piano is just like mirroring the cadence of that bass. Just it's become much more punctual. Oh, now the guitarist is actually showing us. Yeah, he can really do some scales, do some runs. And the drummer is actually giving us kind of a pressure drop feel because he's only accenting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's accenting like thirds. Yeah, it would be like a true close cadence, I guess, if the drummer was just mirroring the others and just doing like dun dun dun, dun like doing like 4 wallops per bar, but he's just doing one on the third, and so there's still kind of like kind of an open cadence flow to this, despite the tightness of some of the other instruments. Oh, I just the piano has actually loosened up, has liberated itself from the bass line. Yeah, it's.
She was a lady living so in style, but she lost it all. Come on, smile,
Oh yeah, we're getting much more to a kind of an epic, grand swell out. Yeah, that's gonna ride out over the over the next 90 seconds or so, and I think his vocals are gonna start to ad lib more. Maybe that's why they had a hard time transcribing the rest of it, because he starts to just kind of run loose. Lyric vocally over this like more intense, kind of louder passage. And now the bass line has also loosened up. Now it's just doing like one note per, key center as it goes down that line, and then rises again, and then like modulates it from like a D to F to G. I love it when the guitar just gets like kind of like more just scaly and lyrical and just more intense as it just like rides along and just roams free over these kind of bass lines. This bass line is kind of reminding me of something that could have been on a Procol Harum album. This kind of progression anyway, like Wailing Stories perhaps. I think it has a similar similar cadence to their arrangement on that track, but theirs is an ascent. Yeah. Once you have like a powerful epic progression and it really starts to build and swell up, yeah, just let it let it loose. This is the kind of section where a lot of people who are like listening to this kind of passively for the first time, they might parts of the song might pass them by on the first few listens, but they'll always like stand the first and second time. This will really catch their attention. They'll be, what is this track? And it'll yeah, and it becomes just one of the highlights. Notice he was almost like finding an actual riff there to play, like right toward the end. He was forming something. I love it when they do that right towards the end. It's like almost like a new song idea was like starting to take shape there. Oh, just write it out to infinity. Yeah, David Werner with the Ballad of Trixie Silver, and before that, The Lady in Waiting. Two very lyrically evocative and musically lush and intricate and just slick and stylish tracks from a very talented young man who wrote and played a good half of the instruments on the album and co-produced the album and brought in a very lean but choice cast of players. On some songs, let's see, one track he has Tasha Thompson on backing vocals. She would do an album in the late 1970s and also work with the likes of Stevie Wonder and Cat Stevens and Jim Croce. One track, I believe it's the final track of Sleepless Night, has sax work by Joe Farrell. And the other players in the album, Gary Link, the bassist, had also been in Steppenwolf and would appear on several of Andy Pratt's albums during the later part of the decade. Yeah, Andy Pratt, the fellow who did the song about Anne Oakley, the character that I was thinking about, this Trixie Silver character had me thinking about, yeah. And guitarist pianist Mark Doyle also worked with Andy Pratt. Yeah, I appreciate that there's a link between Andy Pratt and David Werner because both, yeah, kind of mine somewhat similar territory. Both like American Northeast musicians with that classic pop and lavish arrangement type of approach. Drummer Tom Glaister, a bit more lean in the credits here, 3 according to Scogs, and a few other talents to consider. Other backing vocals, Linda, we didn't hear him, so it's not really relevant here. But anyway, yeah, David Werner did 2 albums on RCA circa 1974-75, and then disappeared for a few years and then resurfaced one more time with an album on Epic in 1979. Yeah, this album though being just his with so much material on hand going in and one of the finest albums of one of the finest American albums of 1974. And spoken from a guy who has heard nearly 1,200 albums from that year across, a whole spectrum of styles and performers from around the world. I guess he gained kind of newfound. This is a fact that recently came to me. In 1990, Billy Idol recorded a composition of his, "Cradle of Love." I know about that, but I never knew that David Werner was responsible. And I just found that out like a couple of months ago, and I've been a big fan of the Whizz Kid album for 24 years now. It's amazing. Yeah, the things you find out here and there that you just never would have suspected. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of David Werner, see the directory of albums by American art pop and singer-songwriters linked in the description below for red hot tracks and purples from this very Ruby-packed album, as well as its follow-up, Imagination Quota, and the 1979 self-titled album, as well as by other singer-songwriters of the period, like Andy Pratt and, the likes. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media and leave a comment if there are any observations that you have about the two tracks we just heard, the instrumentation, the vocals, the nuances, the lushness of it all, and the lyrics if you have different insights into what some of them may have been getting at. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled Trend Maximalist, signing off.